I got two for you. The first one, that's the only team that you guys won't have taken down this season. What specifically about Vegas was so tricky for you guys?
I think the other night it was we just couldn't put the ball in the hole. And I think tonight, you hold Vegas to 78 points. You keep them under 20 for 3 of the 4 quarters. Honestly, we missed 9 free throws at home. Like, we battled. I just keep telling them, like, we're right there, and they have to believe it. But we just got to make sure we take care of business with things that you have to do. I mean, I think they only had 1 offensive rebound all night. I mean, we did some of the things that that hurt us the other night, but you got to get to that free throw line and make those free throws.
Is there anything specific you'd like to see or iron out in these last 2 games to feel fully ready for the postseason?
Yeah, I feel like we come out of the half and I don't know what we need to do to get off to a better start. This is the second time I've had to call a timeout. I think they went on a 5-0 run, and I just took it real quick, and then I think we held them to 12 points after that. I mean, those are just things that, like, that's what good teams do. Like, you don't have a lull to come out of the half. Like, it's the first 3 minutes. You have to play it like it's the last 3 minutes of the game to start that momentum.
Go Jacob and Chloe.
Kind of alluded to this with the missed free throws, but Kelsey and Caitlin both kind of had a sense of letting this one get away or kind of shooting yourselves in the foot. Is that a sense that you have after tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Vegas is one of the best teams in this league, and we held them to 78 points. And, our defense keeps getting better, but we've got to just make sure. We did have a couple of defensive breakdowns late where we didn't get out to, I know, Kelsey Plum late in the corner. We just have to do a little bit, better job communicating. But, like, we got to make sure that we're taking the best shot for our team. We had some great high-low looks during the game, especially when they had Clark at the 4. We just got to make sure. We always talk about getting that advantage. That advantage is mismatches at times. We have to make sure we take advantage of those.
Go Chloe, then we'll go Christine.
Yeah, Caitlin mentioned, she knows hitting the stanchion is, a tech, but it's still tough that she got it in the first quarter. Just what kind of conversation did you have with her about that when she was on the bench?
I'm sorry, the first part of that question was what kind of?
Oh, hitting the stanchion, she knows it's like a tech, but, it's still tough.
Yeah, we've just got to make sure that we don't let outside things that we have no control over, like, affect us, especially early in the game. I think she got fouled and missed those 2 free throws, and then, got frustrated with the officiating at times, but, like, that's where we've got to be better, and we've got to, handle those things. It's not going to be perfect. Those guys aren't going to be perfect. We're not perfect, but I think we lost some time with, with that frustration. So that's just something we're talking about. We're growing, and then after that, she came out in the second half and was, she let it go, and she was a different player, and that's, just can't have that first quarter lapse like that.
Go Christine, then Alexa.
Christy, following up on that, at halftime, is there any conversation with her? Do you see a change? Because you're right. I mean, she comes out and is, just as you said, her old self, incredible. Almost, I guess she didn't quite have a double-double, as it turns out, but
I think she did, didn't she?
well, apparently they took away an assist, according to our expert over here.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it was a double-double or close, and played great, right? Well, can you kind of walk us through that? I mean, is there any conversation at halftime, or does she kind of self-reset, or is there a little combination of both? Thanks.
Yeah, I think it's both for sure. I think we talked about, just that first quarter, and we can't let that affect us so much. The officials let me handle the officials. And then I know she had a conversation. Jesse Miller is her coach that she spends a lot of time with watching video. I know they had a conversation, and then I talked to her right before we started. I mean, she just needed a reset. I mean, she's just passionate. She's competitive. She's just got to be able to move on to that next play.
Alexa, go ahead.
Christy, you've mentioned kind of a few different things that would apply here, but what is your message, I guess, to the team after a game like this or after the last 2 about kind of the gap between, the teams like Vegas that obviously they're gold standard, won 2 championships, and you guys, where you guys are right there, but what it kind of takes to get over the hump and beat a team as good as them? Yeah,
I mean, that was my first. I mean, when I walked in the locker room, they have to know that we're there. Like we've worked our asses off. to get to where we are. You know, just being consistent with their effort daily since we got here. It just has been getting better ever since on both ends of the floor. And you know, when we played Vegas early, we weren't there, you know, and they got us. But right now, like, they've got to really believe that we are there with those guys. And I think they do. And now we just have to find ways to not have those lulls that we're having. The first quarter, start of the third quarter, you know, we just can't have those. If you're going to, you know, that was playoff basketball out there tonight. And you've got to make sure that, you know, you are not giving them any opportunity to take any advantage of times where, you know, you're frustrated or, you know, it's just not going our way and we take several possessions off. You just can't do that with these great teams.
Go last two, Brad, then Brian on the right.
Christy, a little more kind of about the playoff conversation. 2 losses here, but can you take some from the collective of these 80 minutes that you learn about when you get to that in a couple weeks to say, okay, when we're in a playoff setting and we need a W on the road, we can do X, Y, Z better than we did this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's the execution, it's the bounce back from the frustration. I think we took what we did against them the other night and learned from it and totally fixed some of the things that really helped us, especially on the defensive end. Again, you know, making 9 free throws changes this game, or, you know, just making a few of those, not even all 9. When you're at home, though, you've got to put the ball in the hole from the free throw line. And but we will take something from this. We made it like a playoff series, you know. So right now we're going home because we just lost 2 games. So we've got to regroup, figure out what we can do to get better, get ready for Dallas. Players are playing a lot of minutes. We've got to make sure we get them some rest and get what they need so we're ready to go on Sunday.
Brian, last one.
You had a chance to tie there with 30 seconds left, and Aaliyah took the shot. Could you talk us through that possession and what you were looking for in that play?
Yeah, you know, people know it's going to be really hard to get Caitlin a shot in those possessions. Like, we want to make sure, like, she, you know, between her and Kelsey, you give them both options. In that play that we ran, they had a pin and they had a hammer action on the weak side. And they're going to take away something, so you just have to be ready. And AB came to me right before and she said, Coach, do you want me to spread out to the corner 3? I said, be ready, because they're going to take that shooter away. And it was a great shot. It rimmed in and out. I mean, that was a great shot. This girl has gone and worked really hard on that part of the game. I have a lot of confidence in her to take that shot. I mean, teams are going to scheme against Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. They're going to do everything they can to make somebody else take that 3. So it's just on us. You know, got to find a way to get the ball in their hands and let them take it. But I was so okay with that wide open 3 by Leah Boston right there.
Tony, you want to start?
Recording in progress.
Kelsey, that Vegas team's going to be the only group you guys don't take down this year. What was it about them that was such a tricky matchup throughout the year?
They are interchangeable, an interchangeable group. I think, you know, they are at least 8 that could play 1 through 4 in different positions. And, you know, down the stretch of being a pro, you learn how to deal with situations like that. And, you know, we fell short of trying to get that done.
Go Chloe, then Matt.
Yeah, Kelsey, you had 19 points in the first half. Just what was working for you when, you know, the flow kind of just wasn't there in the first half?
I can't really tell you what the flow was. I just try to stay aggressive. Whenever my numbers call, whenever I'm playing in space, to get to certain spots, I'm doing my best to get there. And you know, I felt like momentum for me is always staying aggressive and getting downhill, and, you know, making people defend. And, you know, I try to do a good job of keeping my teammates included in the process. So for me, it's about finding, like, rhythm where I can, and also being a complete player on both sides.
Go Matt, then Maddie.
Yeah, Kelsey, on Wednesday, you were saying that as a leader that you needed to, you know, sort of help the group bring the confidence. Tonight was closer.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't get the result, but do you think that you brought that confidence enough to win?
I think so. I think that it came down to a little bit more logistics. For us, it's about, you know, we experienced something that we haven't experienced before tonight, and I think that, you know, we could utilize it as fuel for the playoffs. But I think that this was a good, you know, step in the right direction, considering what history says about us and playing Vegas. I think we made a lot of great steps today.
Go Maddie, then we'll go Lou.
How do you think in a game like this, how do you stay mentally sharp or poised when it feels really back and forth, kind of roller coaster? You're down 13 at one point,
Yeah.
you come back and tie it.
Yeah. I think, for one, you got to be a competitor. I think that's just a part of the game. But for two, I think for us, we stayed poised enough to get back in the game, and it just goes to show what kind of group you're dealing with. So I can pat ourselves on the back for not giving up. But not giving up is just not enough. So I think we got to just keep going back to the drawing board and putting in more work.
Go Lou, then we'll go Alexa.
Kelsey, the other night, you described the game as a grind.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel the same way today. There was a little more flow after the first quarter, especially. But
Oh, no, it was definitely a grind.
yeah, I mean, and what made that difference? And your offense was better.
Yeah.
As a group.
Yeah, I think that we did utilize our film session yesterday to find where we can be effective on both ends of the floor. We try to adjust to who Asia Wilson was and utilize our defense and let it fuel us. But I think down the stretch, it came down to just, they just happened to be a really great group and hit tough shots. And, I think a lot of positions, is better, great defense and better role at that point. But I think that we did adjust and look at our film and go from looking at film and applying to what we watched yesterday.
Alexa.
Kelsey, you guys have been talking about this being almost like a mini playoff series for you guys to prep for down the road. If with that in mind, what do you feel like this group can take about what it takes to take down a top team and really execute against a really good squad?
I think a sense of focus. I think that we could tap in a little bit more defensively, and I think the discipline on both ends of the floor will help. Not easy smackdowns, being in the right position, knowing personnel. I think all that plays a part into being a playoff team and making a playoff run. I think that we try to do a decent job of taking what we learned in film and, going to the games. But I think ultimately it comes down to being a complete pro. And I think that we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit on the free throw line. So I think that if we, it's not the end all be all, but that's a part of being a pro. And I think that we have to take aways for that is to stay focused on what's right and what's correct. And our discipline showed that we missed free throws tonight, so it could have helped. But
Tony, last one.
Kelsey, from a team and individual perspective, what do you want to sharpen these last two games going into the postseason?
Oh, man, I think if we could stop trading baskets, so to speak. We call them kills. So if we can get 3 stops in a row and then go score, we get a couple more kills, I think it'll serve in our favor going into the playoffs because those kills and getting those stops, while you can get them, is very, very important because down the stretch, and when you don't, you kind of playing catch-up, and I think that we don't put ourselves in that position going forward,
They play double big so much. What does that kind of front court size, their ability to spread it out with that group really do to stress your defense? And why do you think it was such a challenge this whole season, really?
I thought they tossed a lot of different lineups at us. I think at times, whether they went small with Clark at the 4 or whether they went big with Stokes at the 4, I thought we could have done a better job of getting some high lows, especially when Clark was playing at the 4. But I don't know. I think moving the ball a little bit better. Obviously, we struggled to shoot it again very well. I thought we played really good defense and put ourselves in a position to win the game. Missing 9 free throws really hurts us. So I think we could have done a little bit better job adjusting and trying to exploit the certain things that you can, whether they're giving us a small lineup or a bigger lineup.
Go Jacob, then Matt.
Caitlin, all your points coming in the second half tonight. Was there any sort of adjustment you made at halftime to kind of lead to that turnaround?
No. It was definitely a tough first half, but I think just, reset, go in the locker room, reset, and honestly proud of myself for how I finished, put together a decent game. Obviously would have liked to see a couple more shots go down and make a couple more free throws, but I thought I was able to respond and bounce back well, and that's sometimes really hard to do, especially when, you get some tough calls there in the first half that don't go your way, and then, the ball wasn't really rolling my way either to start the game. So proud of myself and proud of our team. I thought we were resilient. There was a lot of things that just didn't go our way. So, but overall, I think we kind of did it to ourselves. I'm proud, like I said, I'm proud of our defense, but there was just areas where we could have, executed a little bit better than made free throws as well.
Go Matt, then Alexa.
Yeah, Caitlin, last time you hit the base of the basket,
That's crazy.
The ref told you it was disrespectful. Was just wondering if you got another explanation tonight.
Well, they're never going to overturn that. It's just one of the rules, I guess, of the game. So it's in the rule book. It is what it is. That's why, I tried to get my last one taken away. They just didn't take it away. And it stinks because I feel like at half of my technicals this year, I got 1 for the inadvertent contact to the face in the Minnesota game, and then 2 for hitting the stanchion of the basket. So it's like 1 was a complete accident, and then the other 2 were just a little frustration with myself. So I think I could have done a better job keeping my emotions in check, but at the same time, like, really? So I don't know. I mean, but it is a rule, so they have to call it, and I get it. It's tough.
Go Alexa, then Christine.
Caitlin, two quick ones, if you don't mind. You broke the single season assist record today. It's also, Asia broke the points record for single season, Angel did for rebounds. Just for all of this history to be made with, you three, you individually, how cool is that to see throughout the season? I'll let you maybe start that one, and then I guess my follow-up.
I mean, I think it definitely just speaks to the whole entire year and like how historic it has been for this league and how great the basketball has been for the league. And, we're not even to the playoffs yet. I think that's what's so fun about it is you're just going to continue to see, records be taken down, but also I think really good basketball. And that's why it's been so fun to watch. That's why the fans have been showing up. The viewership has been, absolutely crushed this year. So, I think everybody's just kind of raising their game. The competition's just getting better and better, and it's fun as a competitor to show up in this league every night and know you have to bring your best because, who's ever on the other side of the court from you, they're going to bring their best, and that's what makes it fun. So it's been cool to watch everybody really, take a step up and elevate, and to be a part of that has been really fun for myself too.
And then just going up against Vegas, obviously they're kind of the gold standard, having won the last two championships. What do you feel like this group has learned about what it takes to go up against a team like that, and the small details that might matter to try to beat them?
Yeah, I think we have moments where we're really good, and then we have moments where we have some lapses. Like, to beat a team like this, I feel like we said this so much this year, like, we can't have Christy calling a timeout right to start the third quarter. Like, that's something that just can't happen for us, and I feel like that's happened so much this year to start the second half, is like having to use a quick timeout because they go on a 5-0 run or 6-0 run or something like that. So I think we clean up that area, but at the same time, I think it should provide us some confidence. Every single time we've played this team, we've gotten better and better and closer, and to see how far we've come from where we first started. I think it was our 7th or 6th game of the year, and I think we gave up 99 points and lost by about 20. So, and now I felt like we were really in this game, and we convert a few more times and convert our free throws. Hopefully we're walking away with a win.
Christine, last one.
Yeah, Caitlin, so 0 points in the first half. You come out and you have those 2 threes, and the crowd's going crazy. And I mean, this crowd, a high school football night, right? And it's packed to the rafters. Unbelievable crowd. Can you put us in your shoes, in your head a little bit? What does that feel like when you're bringing this team back? You get those 2 threes, the crowd's going crazy, you're doing your stuff. Can you put that into words for us? Thanks.
I mean, it's definitely energizing. Like, I feel like that's something people appreciate about my game is I play to the crowd really well. I know when to, but also it helps me too. Like, it's not just like, to help our entire team. Like, it helps me. I hope it's fun for them. Like, you make a couple shots and the fans got your back. Like, the cheer they let out when I made that first layup, like, you could tell it was like, finally this girl could score again. But no, I mean, I feel very lucky to play in this arena and in front of a fan base that's supporting, women's basketball like the way they are, and like it's a true sellout. Like, it's packed to the top. Like, people are here to scream. Like, it's hard for us to get tickets too for our families. So I can imagine it's hard for everybody else, but I think as a player, like, that's something that you just thrive off of, like, hearing the crowd go crazy. I think especially on defense, like, if you can put a little run together and go down and need a stop and you hear them and you hype them up and they listen to you, like, you feel kind of powerful at the same time. So it's definitely fun. I mean, I wish we could have got the win for them, but I know Sunday's going to be a lot of fun too.